Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today we're going to make this cute little file folder card. I'll show you how to make the tabs and how to make the little folder as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stamps. This is a brand new set from the Art Impressions Spring 2022 collection, and this one is called Hot Mess Laugh Lines, and you can see all these adorable little sentiments you get with this. We're going to be using that little lady down there in the corner. And this card was inspired by that sentiment there that said my brain has too many tabs open. That's just too cute. So let's go ahead and place that little lady in our mini MISTI stamp positioner. And I'm using the Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock. And for ink, I'm using the Versafine Onyx black ink. And I'm just using my STAMPendable press there to press that down. So now we can go ahead and start our coloring. I'm going to start with the Aquamarine blue, and these are the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens. And to do my blending, I'm using my Zig blender pen. Now, I do want to mention that I recently did 2 videos using some of the new colors from the Color Set A. It's a 30-piece set from Zig, and it has these beautiful smoky colors in it. There are more subtle colors in the collection, and this is one of them. This aquamarine blue is one of those new colors. So I will list and link those 2 videos. There's a part 1 which will show you the color chart. So I just lay out the colors and we'll talk about those a little bit. And then part 2, I'm going to do a card using many of those brand new colors. So again, I'll link that down below for you if you're interested in that. So here you can see I'm just laying down my color and I'm adding some shadows here and there. I'm not introducing a second color. I'm just using that aquamarine blue to do my shadowing, and if I need more shadowing, I'm just coming in with more of that color and just blending it out. And if you get a little bit too much color, you can see there I'm just going to remove it. So I'm lifting it off the image and scribbling it onto that scrap paper area there. So now let's go ahead and add a few more shadows here. Now you certainly could use water to blend this as well. These are water-based markers, so that would be an option as well. And again, in that new set, there are 30 new colors. It's called the Set A collection. And there's some beautiful blendable colors like shadow pink, blossom pink, dark blossom pink. There's a deep peony, a vermilion, mocha brown, some plum colors, a plum gray and a plum mist. There's some grape colors, and then there's lots of new grays. There's 2 new cool grays and 4 new warm grays, which you can really never have enough of the grays. So they're really great for doing your shadowing. And I'm showing you the colors I'm using as we're going along. They're always in the upper left-hand corner there, so you know what colors I'm using. Here I'm just using the light gray here to do her pants. I want to keep them mostly white. And then I'm going to use those same 2 colors, the light gray and that gray, to do the feet on the chair here. And I did just start with that light gray, and then I'm going to add a little shadow up towards the top there and pull that down. Now for her shirt, I'm going to grab that pale rose color, which is a really pretty pinky tone. And again, I'm not going to introduce the second color. I'm just going to stick with that one color and just keep adding layers of that until I get that shadowing that I'm looking for. There was also another laugh line addition to this spring collection that was called the Sassy Laugh Lines. And it's this adorable little lady. She's wearing a leopard print outfit. She's got like a boa and feathers in her hat. She's just adorable. And I did do a card with her. It's called the Mixed Media Tag Card. And in that particular card, we use several different products. We're going to be using some mica sprays, some stenciling, some heirloom roses, some metallic cardstock, just a whole bunch of different fun products. So I'll link that down below as well. Again, it's going to be called the Mixed Media Tag Card Sassy Lady. So if you want to check that out, you might enjoy that as well. So now I'm switching to yellow and beige to do her hair. Starting with that yellow, but I'm going to add a little bit of beige just to tone it down just a little bit. And I'll leave mostly the shadows down towards the bottom of her hair and just kind of pull that up towards the top. I'm going back to that beige to do her slippers. And then this set does not come with the coordinating die. So we're going to just use our detail scissors to cut her out, but it's really easy to do that, simple cutting. I'm using the flesh color here to do her feet and her arms. And we've already used that color on her face and a little bit of the sugared almond pink on her cheeks. So there you can see we have her all colored in. So again, we're going to grab our detail scissors. I'll leave a little white border around that and I'll cut her out. So let's go ahead and create the card base. So I've got some Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock, and this measures 5 3/4 by 5 inches. So I'll go ahead and score that at the 2.5-inch mark. And to do this, I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers trim and scoreboard. So it has a cutting and scoring tool here. And it does come with that little bone folder as well. So you can see that creates the card base that we need. Grab some pattern papers. I'm going to be using the Flower Market Petite paper pack from Fawn, and you have all these really pretty floral patterns. And for the base of the card, we're going to use this pretty gray floral pattern. And here we're going to cut this 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cut 2 of those to start, but later on you'll see that I end up cutting 1 more of those. So now I've selected a few other floral papers. I've got the blue, the pink, and the yellow. And we're going to go ahead and create the tabs for the top of our file folder. So to do this, I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers tab punch board. I'm going to grab that little stopper there and I'm placing it in the 2 holes towards the left side of the tab punch board. First, let's go ahead and fold our cardstock in half. So I'm just folding that, and I'm just using some scrap pieces of paper here. So this is a good way to use up some of your scraps. And I'll just press that out with my bone folder. And now what I want to do is slide that all the way into that corner, and that little stopper is going to stop it there. So I slide it all the way in, and I'm going to go ahead and punch. Now I'm going to flip that paper around, and I'm going to remove that little stopper. And now I want to decide on the size so I can make a small, medium, or large size tab. I'm going to make a medium size. So I'm going to line up that little angle there with the little angle on the punch board. You can see that there. And then I'll slide it all the way in and I'll punch. I don't need that little stopper now because we're using the guide on the punch board itself to determine the size of the tab. So once I have that done, I need to cut this down. So I'm going to place it right against that little lip there. I'm pushing it all the way against that lip. Then I'm going to grab the blade, and you can see that there. I'll put it in the channel of the cutter, and then I'm just going to slide that across, and that'll cut our little tab to size. Now there are other ways to use this little tab punch board, and I'm hoping to use this again in some future videos, so you can keep an eye out for that. So now we have that first one done. Let's go ahead and make another one. So again, I'll place that blade back in that little container there just to keep it safe. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold my cardstock in half. Now if you do have a specific pattern paper here, you may want to keep that in mind when you're folding this. If you have something that has words on it, you're going to want to make sure it's going in the right direction here, or something with stripes, depending on which direction you want those stripes to be. So let's go ahead and place that little stopper again in those 2 holes towards the left. Slide this all the way in. Go ahead and punch that. And then remove that little stopper, flip this around, and then I'm looking for that medium size angle there. And then we'll line that right up along that little angle, and we'll go ahead and punch. Now I want to cut off the excess again, so I'm going to grab that blade. Again, sliding this up right against that ridge there, and then I'll go ahead and place the cutting blade in that channel and go ahead and trim this down. So you can see how cute these are. This is a fun way to create some little tabs for any card. This would be cute on any little school type card. If you wanted to create a little retirement card for somebody or an office party card, that would be really cute. So now let's go ahead and do that last one, and I'm just going to do that really quickly here. Again, we'll just trim off that excess. And now we have our 3 little tabs. So I want to do some stamping on these tabs, and I want to use some of the sentiments from that set. So what I'm going to do is open up each of these tabs. I'm placing a little tiny bit of that Tombow tape runner on the back just to hold these in place. That'll come right off when we're done doing our stamping. And I'm going to stamp 3 sentiments here. And again, I'm going back to that same set, and I'm going to grab 3 different sentiments that will fit on our little tabs. So I'm just kind of using this to check and see which ones are going to fit really well here. You can always cut these down a little bit if you need to, or mask off a section of the sentiment if you wanted to. But I found these 3 fit perfectly. And these 3 will say, one says, hold on, let me overthink this. One says, I literally cannot even. And the last one says, Chief Chaos Coordinator. So those are just so fun. So I inked those up with the Versafine Onyx Black ink. I'm going back to my little STAMPendable press here, and I'll press those out. And you can see how cute these are. So now, again, you can see here I cut 1 more of those gray panels to fit. I thought I wanted 1 more on the inside, so I've got 2 for the inside of the card and 1 for the outside here. So here again, I'm going back to that cute sentiment that was the inspiration for this card that says, my brain has too many tabs open. So I want to just figure out about where that needs to be positioned. Then I can go ahead and remove that stamped image and do my stamping here. I'm just checking to make sure it's nice and straight there before I stamp it. So let's go ahead and attach this panel to the front of our card, and I'm using some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to do that. That's a really super strong adhesive. I'm just centering it on the front of the card, and then I'll do that 2 more times for the inside of the card. I'm leaving that inside area of the card open just because I think what I'm going to do is write a nice sentiment in there, write a nice note to a friend. So let's go ahead and figure out where our little tabs need to be. I'm going to place 1 on the front part of the card and 2 on the back. I just want to make sure that they're kind of evenly spaced. So I'll place this first one right in the center here. I'm just putting a little glue along one edge, and then I'll line it up. Once it's lined up, I can go ahead and add some more glue to the inside and then fold it down. So I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to add a little glue just to one side of the tab, and then I'll finish gluing the inside and fold it closed. And I'll do the same thing for this last one. And I've placed these 2 on the far left and the far right of the inside of the card. So they'll be centered 3 in a row when this little file folder is closed. So it took me a little while to figure out all the dimensions and all the layout for this, but in the end, this will be a mini slimline card, which will be approximately 3 inches by 6 inches. So it should fit in a standard slimline envelope. So I want to just kind of have her over towards that sentiment a little bit here. So I'm just gluing her flat. I decided to keep her flat, although you could pop her up a little bit, but I wanted her to pull in and out of our little file folder easily. So that's our finished card. Let's go ahead to the Flower Market collection pack, which is the 12 by 12 size. And you can see there against the 6 by 6 size, it has a larger pattern to it. And the back, it is double-sided, and the back side of this is that really pretty stripe. So I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board to create this little file folder envelope. And this is really simple and easy to do. I just thought this would be an easy way to create this little pocket. So we're creating a 3 by 6 inch card. And so we're going to need to follow this here. Our paper size will be 7.5 by 7.5. And our first punch will be at 2 5/8. So you do need a larger paper to do this, so that's why I went to the 12 by 12 cardstock. And again, that'll finish off the inside for us as well, because it gives us that pretty stripe for the outside and that pretty pattern paper for the inside. So I'm just showing you there again quickly how I determine the measurements. Now I'm going to that 2 5/8 inch mark there, right at the top of my punch board. You can see that there. And I'm going to line up my paper. This is the only time we need to line anything up with that top section. Once I line that up, I'm going to punch, and now I'll make my score. And that little scoring tool does come with your punch board. Now I'm going to turn the paper, and there's that score line. I'm lining up that score line with that pointer and that line there. So I want to line that pointer up with that score line, and I'm pushing that paper all the way up towards the top of the punch board there. I'm punching and scoring again. I'm going to do this all the way around. So again, I'm grabbing that score line, lining it up with that pointer. I'm going to punch and score. So this is a really simple, easy way to create this little pocket. I'm sure there's lots of other ways you could do this, but I just didn't want to have to be bothered with a lot of measurements. So this I thought was an easy way to go. Now, if you were making an envelope, once you're done here, you can turn this around, and there's a little corner rounder on the back of this punch board, but we're not going to do that today. We won't be needing that. And just keep in mind that if you order a punch board, yours will be a little bit different color than mine. Mine is very old, and they're currently white with that aqua trim. So now I just want to cut away one of those little triangles off the side here on the long section. So you can see that there. I'm just using that score line as my guide, and I'm just trimming that off. So now just decide which paper you want on the outside and which paper you want on the inside. And I'm going to have my stripes on the outside. So I'll go ahead and fold these 3 tabs in. I'll fold in those 2 smaller side ones in. And then I can go ahead and glue this together. And then what we're going to do is fold back that little excess triangle there, because that will reveal that pretty floral pattern underneath. So what I'm going to do is create a score line here for that. So I just marked it with a pencil at about where I wanted to fold that little flap back. And I'm just going to score right on that line, just so it's nice and straight. But you certainly don't need to use your scoreboard to do that. You can just simply fold that back. I just wanted to make sure it was nice and straight. So now you can see how this is coming together. I'm going to add a little glue to each of these tabs here. And I'm just checking here to make sure I don't have too much glue where I don't want it. And then I'll go ahead and add some glue to the other side. And now we can fold this shut. And you do want to make sure you use a nice strong adhesive here. So again, I'm using that Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. Now I'll add a little bit of glue to that tab as well. Don't forget, all of the products I'm using today are listed down below and also on my blog. So let's go ahead and add a few gems here. I'm using the Pinkfresh Studio Metallic Pearls. These are the silver ones. And what's really nice here is you get 3 different sizes in here. So I'm going to grab all 3 sizes. I'll use that largest one at the very point of this little flap, and then I'll go to the medium and then the tiny little small ones. And then I'll go ahead and glue those down. I'm using my Marvy jewel picker to pick those up, and I'm using that Nuvo glue just to glue those in place. That just adds a little bit of sparkle here. Now I've got my Jelly Roll gel pens. This is the Moonlight collection, and this is a variety of grays. And so I'm going to select that darkest gray gel pen and just add a few stripes to that little coffee cup here. And then I'll grab my white Jelly Roll gel pen and add some highlights here and there. And this will just make everything pop out a little bit more. So now you can see how that fits right in our little pocket. And I just love that double-sided paper. So let's go ahead and take a closer look here. This is our card. And again, I'm intentionally leaving that blank inside so that I can write a nice note to a friend in there. But you could certainly stamp a sentiment in there as well. And you've got plenty of room on the back to write something there. This would be great for a little gift card. You could slide a gift card right inside that pocket. You've got plenty of room for that. And then we've got this cute little file folder. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.